and welcome to another episode of SBTDT. Today we're going to be talking about a very basic concept of riding, and keep in mind this is a very basic riding skill video, so we're going to be talking about stuff that in the future we're going to a little bit modify, but for now this is what we're going to go for. And expert riders, they're going to say, hey, wait, there are some differences in this. That will come afterwards. Let's talk about the basic thing. Stability. What's the key for the stability on a motorcycle? Well, actually it's the key for the stability even on a car, on any vehicle. Stability is traction. Traction equals stability. When you have traction, the vehicle is stable. When you have traction, the bike becomes more stable. You can go around the corner safely. How do we give traction to the bike? Well, to give traction to the bike, you need to open the throttle or press the gas pedal in the case of a car. But the concept is that when you are giving power to the traction wheel, the vehicle will have traction and so stability. This is the point. We have a motorcycle, and as we all know, the rear wheel is the one pushing the bike forward. So our rear wheel is the traction wheel. That's the wheel where we always want to have the most grip. So remember, motorcycle is not a piece of wood, neither a car is. I mean, every vehicle, while you're riding it, keeps moving. While you're braking, the weight of the vehicle goes to the front. The rear wheel gets lifted basically from the ground, even though it doesn't get lifted literally, but it loses weight. Losing weight, it's less grip, which gives us less possibility of traction. When we give throttle, the weight goes to the back. We gain traction, we gain grip, and so traction, and so stability. So when you're on a corner, you always have to give a little bit of throttle. But the point is, how can we assure that we always give some weight to the rear? And believe it or not, there is a very, very simple thing to do to give weight to the back, and it's just in the position of your feet. Keeping your feet in a different position on the motorcycle is going to cause the bike to have more weight on the rear wheel, more grip then. What are we talking about? Well, when I look on the street and I see guys riding, they all keep the feet in the position that I like to call the duck feet. Basically, they lock their heel on the foot peg. And just to do it in a simpler way, I'm going to use a marker as a foot peg, and here I have my boot, my racing boot. Okay? Well, a lot of people, when they ride on the street, they put their foot on the foot peg just like this, locked it, right here. And they're ready to change gears up and down and whatever, but you know what? When you keep your feet like this, you're actually leaning your body forward. Your body is falling forward, giving weight to the front wheel, and so taking it away from the rear wheel. The proper position is this. You need to be on the foot peg, on your tippy toes. And trust me, I mean, I used to do this at the beginning. Once I learned to do this, I wonder how someone can ride like this. I feel so unstable. The bike feels so good like this. And you can tell, even by the hole I have here on my sole, that basically I'm staying like this. This is my foot peg. That's where the foot peg finishes. I'm right there on the tippy toe, just like that. And to give you a much simpler example to show you what's going on, you can even try yourself to do this. You grab the imaginary foot peg, you put it down, you put your heel on it, and then you try to squat down, and guess what? I'm falling forward. Here we go. You fall forward. But let's reverse it. I'm gonna put the foot peg on the tippy toe, the way that I'm supposed to. So I'm gonna be standing with my heel up as I am on the motorcycle. And here I'm falling backwards. That's it. I'm giving weight to the rear wheel. So I have more weight, I have more possibility for grip. What does this mean? Well, for sure it doesn't mean that now I can do the corners full throttle. Definitely no. But I have grip on the rear wheel and the possibility of holding the traction. How much traction? Well, when I'm on a corner with my bike, with my car, whatever, I keep about 10% throttle. You can do 5, you can do 3. A lot of times I'm there not even 2% because I can feel that I'm on the verge of dropping off on the throttle zone. And that's how much you need really. You just need a little bit of a push from the rear wheel. The rear wheel needs to push. And the last thing you want to do while you are on a corner, you're leaning down, you release the throttle, so the weight goes to the front, you take it off the back, the bike slides out, and you have a high-sided. Why? Well, if you're cornering, you take away the weight from the rear wheel, you take away the traction, the rear wheel will slide. Once it slides, it's a matter of moments. You're going to be up in the air soon. So, always give throttle during a corner. Always. Okay, in the future we will talk about other tricks, more expert tricks where you can do trail braking and playing with the geometry of the bike while you're riding. But for now, we need to keep in mind this concept, which is valid even when you ride your daily car. When you are on a corner, you always have to give a little bit of throttle. Press the gas pedal a little bit, twist the gas a little bit. Whichever way you want to put it, you need to have traction. And to have traction, the traction wheels, they need to be pushing or pulling. If you have a front wheel drive car, it doesn't matter. You always have to have traction. So keep this in mind. Keep the feet in the correct position. That's the first thing. The feet on the tippy toes, on the foot pegs, is going to cause a little bit more weight in the back, which gives you rear grip, and that's the important thing. Then you open the throttle while you do that corner. Don't open it a lot. You will realize that a lot of times when you open the throttle, the bike will start pushing towards the outside of the corner. That's not abnormal, that's totally fine. It happens because there is a geometry change going on, and we will talk about this stuff later on. How can you compensate this sensation of being pushed out? Just drop your head. The head is very heavy, it's the heaviest part of the body. So you're on the corner, you're giving a little bit of throttle, the bike starts going out, drop your head down and the bike will come back in. Very simple like that. The head is so heavy, it really turns the entire bike in a moment. I mean, if you're driving on the straight, let's say that you're on a highway or on the track on the straightaway, and you just drop your head from here to here, you're going to see the bike just going from side to side in a moment. I mean, it's so heavy that it causes a lot of gravity changes. The center of gravity changes a lot. So you go down on the corner, you open the throttle, you see that the bike is going a little wide. Don't shut the throttle. Like we said, don't shut the throttle. You shut the throttle, you lose grip, you lose traction, and so when you lose traction, you lose stability. The bike will slide out. No, always keep a little bit of traction and drop your head a little bit, and you will solve the problem. So remember, next time we're going to be talking about how to hold the tractions in critical moments. For now, just remember, when you're on a corner, doesn't matter car or motorcycle, always give a little bit of gas. Always hold the throttle a little bit in every corner. See ya!